For this final video, for the squared away throw, I'm going to be showing you the technique for doing the finishing triangles across the top of the blanket, finishing off that last edge, making it square. So you start with your slip knot in your final color and attach it to the tip of that tip of your right side triangle with a slip stitch, chain 1 to secure, and then in that first slip stitch you pull up a loop, and you pull up a loop into every slip stitch down that triangle, okay, just like when you're working the squares. It's the same sort of technique so far, like when you're working the squares. Okay, and yarn over, go through 2 again, just like you're building up those squares. Okay, till you're down to the last 3 loops on your hook. This is where it's different from the squares. This is where the decrease happens to create the triangle. When you're down to the last 3 loops, you yarn over and go through all 3. Then when you begin your next line, you skip that very first vertical bar that you picked up in that line, as that's part of the decrease, and you move to what is now the first vertical bar of this line, which is not included in the decrease. And you go down again, picking up a loop under every vertical bar. Yarn over, go through 2 loops, back up till you have the 3 loops left. See that there? And you yarn over, go through 3, the last 3 to create the decrease. And again, skipping the vertical bar that was the first one in that line, because that's part of the decrease, moving to the next one, which is now the first one in this line, and pulling up loops. And yarning over and going through 2 loops at a time until you have 3 loops left on your hook. Yarn over, go through the last 3 to create the decrease. Okay, and you continue with that technique, skipping that first one from the previous line, moving to the first one now, which is in this line, skipping the vertical bar in the decrease. On the hook, go through 3. So you see you're starting to create that straight edge along the top. Decrease. And you'll find that if you're doing it correctly, you'll not only get a straight edge across the top, but you'll also have fewer and fewer bars to pick up because you're decreasing one with every line that you make. So they actually kind of go faster as you go along. There's 3. go. And for your last one, there'll be one vertical bar left to pick up and one stitch from the edge of the next square, so you'll only have 3 loops to pick up. Yarn over, go through 3 loops, and there you've done your finishing triangle. For the top of your afghan between the 2 squares, or the edge triangle.